everybody. We're doing the weekly energy forecast for Monday, the 14th of November through to Sunday, the 20th of November, 2022. So the card that you see in front of you here, the Nine of Wands, is Monday's card. The card name says Staying Power. And when I look at this card, it very much speaks to me of overcoming obstacles, managing emotions, that kind of thing. So if you have been going through a little bit of a tough time, I know that last week, I think the week ended off with some tower moments. So I hope that went all okay for you guys. But this card really does speak about having the strength to stand your ground, to overcome whatever challenges or obstacles it is that you are possibly currently facing in order for you to write a new story. So this is very much about you having, or the reassurance that you do have whatever it takes for you to overcome whatever it is that you're busy going through. So this very much tells me, when I look at this card, those little ones behind there, even though none of them appear to be, there is one little one that appears to be having a little bit of a growth bud there, but that all just speaks to me about challenging times or challenges that you've had to go through, and that one little growth bud there tells me that there are unseen forces at play, so things are busy working, that seed is beginning to develop, maybe under the ground, or the if anybody has ever tried to root a cutting, there's that little green that's starting to come through the cutting that lets you know that things are actually going to be okay. So that I do feel is quite a good start to the week. All right. So yes, I would say that determination to succeed is most definitely needed, but the end to those challenges is also in sight. Just this little bird also just reminds me about taking a broader perspective, or a look from a higher perspective. So sometimes when we are in the thick of things, we don't really see things for how they are, but rather our projection for how we think that they are. So that little bird's just telling me, peace really can be ours. And if we're prepared to actually just get out of it a little bit. So initially I thought, oh, that's the peace dove. Now the peace dove came up quite strongly in the readings that I did last week. I posted the individual zodiac signs, and the goddess Bridget, she's the queen of the fairies, and she also comes through as the goddess Dana, the earth mother, sometimes also seen as Isis. So it's all the same energy. So the peace dove kind of came through there, and then as soon as I recognized the peace dove, I also got the idea of, hold on, that's actually a squawking seagull. So don't let your peace dove turn into a squawking seagull. It's just going to annoy you and make a whole bunch of noise. So rather let your peace dove come in with the peace and the calm and the tranquility, because those squawking seagulls, I don't know if you've ever had a flock of them around you trying to eat your chips, or wanting to have some of your ice cream, or whatever else it is that they've decided that you've got that they want. So this is very much about being careful of that energy of the squawking seagull, and rather being fully present in the peace, the tranquility, the steadfastness, the groundedness that comes with the peace dove. All right, so just this card also just indicates about the emotional contexts. So manage the emotions, I feel like if you can manage the emotions, then that will sort of feed all the other aspects of your life. So that will bring the nourishment and the support. But if you let the emotions be the ones that are in control, that can cause a little bit of chaos. So a flooded river is, or a flooding river is quite a story for all of those on its banks. Whereas a river that is flowing nicely and freely and calmly and in the right direction, it nourishes all around it. And that again, on an emotional front, that is what you're being told here. So just here, just having a look at the mountains again, it's just a reminder of those obstacles, and those ones are just like steps, So got a couple of more steps to go until you reach your sunny disposition and position. Monday I don't think is going to be an easy day. And if this is how Mondays is, I would say too that it's unlikely that your steps are going to just stop on that one day. So I do think that this is the start of your week. So for the next couple of, maybe even the next 9 days, or until the 9th of the next month, that is the time where you're going to be going through the process of walking your way up that ladder and taking your control of your life back and being quite determined to succeed. So that's Monday's card. Quite a good card, lovely card. And it really does give me a lot of hope. So it's saying, listen, even though it looks what it looks like, don't sweat the small stuff. We're getting through it. We're almost there. The end's in sight. Look, we're right near the end, more than halfway through the book. It's almost time to turn that page and start a new story. So that's Monday's card for you. Let's have a look to see what Tuesday brings in. Tuesday the 15th gives us the King of Swords, and the word there is truth. Now, this poor guy, he always looks to me like he's just been given news that he's got to do his least favorite job. So, shame. I do feel a little bit sorry for the King of Swords when I look at him in this way. But what this card is telling me is to think but not overthink, because all of these little butterflies that are around him, and I think sometimes they look more like moths than butterflies, indicate that he's got a lot on his mind. He's got everything that he needs in order to be able to fulfill his role, do his duty, all that kind of stuff. He's well protected, he's well qualified and experienced and all the other kinds of things. Not really wanting to fight, can and will if he absolutely has to. But this is more about the thinking or the preparing for. And here again, I can't remember from 1 minute to the next what I have or haven't said. So I do apologize for if I repeat myself, because I don't work from a script. But this very much seems to me like this is a good time for you to think and plan and process and make decisions, but not overthink. So there is a very definite difference between thinking and overthinking. All right. So this card also brings with it the reminder that you do have the power, the authority, the intelligence, that you need in order to deal with the situation. And your King of Swords is also, remember, the champion for truth and for ethics. So he's the one that fights for what's right. So, maybe you get into this energy of completing a cycle, as we saw on Monday's card, and we know what last week entailed, and we're heading towards the end of the year, and this might just be the reminder to say, see what the truth of the matter is, see what it is that you actually want. maybe your head's full of other people's stuff. Maybe it is, maybe it's full of emotion, because on Monday's card they were talking about the emotion. So maybe it's just way too full of the emotion. So this might be a good time to be a little bit more maybe analytical or logical or practical, and maybe a little bit less emotional in your decision making and contemplating. So yeah, it might be a good time with the King of Swords to try and use your mental abilities to work things out in a, like I said, a more logical, practical, sort of being in control kind of way. But yeah, I just feel like this is about you almost needing to get a little bit more control over those thoughts, or feeling like you are in control over, or that you do have control, or that you will get control over all of those things that are sort of swirling around in your life. So if you're not feeling 100% in control of your life at the moment, that's okay. This card really does tell me about the fact that help is coming, help is on the way, help is available to you. For those of you that have got some elective surgery that might be coming up, he doesn't look very happy about the surgery, but I actually think that it's going to turn out better than what you think that it is. All right. So I'm not getting any issues with that. I'm getting that, it's going to be a painful process, and recovery is going to take a little bit of determination to get through, and that kind of stuff, as it always is. But I feel that the same as with Monday's card, if you just climb that ladder, put your feet in front of each other, you'll get what you went in hoping to achieve from that. All right. So those of you feeling a little bit like feeling a little bit insecure, whatever, or that maybe a little bit alone, or unsupported in any way, this card also tells me that you do have some hidden support, you do have protection, you do have others that you can lean on. So you do have the structure around you that can support you, but having said that, you do need to recognize that your knees might be wobbling a little bit out of fear or indecision, but you are quite steadfast on your feet. So there's no wondering whether you can or you can't, because you absolutely 100% can. So that's Tuesday's card for us. Let's see what Wednesday has in store. Okay, so Wednesday is the Five of Pentacles, and okay, I was hoping that the week the week's cards were going to get happier, but it would appear that we're going through a little patch of mud, emotionally and materially. So the best way to deal with that is, when you're going through the mud, just keep going, because camping in the mud is not pleasant for anyone. So yeah, the Five of Pentacles speaks very much about material troubles, financial losses, literal blood, sweat, and tears, about material, financial aspects. So there, I'm going to say what this card tells me about is not getting too emotionally caught up in your current problems, because otherwise they really can begin to affect your physical health. All right. This card also tells me about looking outside of your normal box. Okay, so if you always solved your problems in a certain way, this is telling me about looking for alternate solutions. Another thing that comes up quite strongly with this is, I'm going to say, making a plan with Peter and Paul. There's that saying of, borrowing from Peter to pay Paul, and this looks very much like Peter and Paul have got their hands full as it is. You're going to need to make an alternative plan. but I do feel what's very important about this card is that there are solutions. Okay, like I said, there's a little droplet of blood there, so it's might be a bit painful, but I do feel that there are others that are going to offer you support outside of where you usually think to look for it. But there's definitely some hidden solutions there. So finding ways to actually free yourself from the burden of debt and shortages would be a very good thing for you to maybe consider at this time, contemplate. Have a look to see where you are maybe wasting money or wasting resources or wasting time, or where you are possibly expending it on trying to cope with depletions on other sides. So that would be things like um, compulsive buying because you've had a bad day, or working long hours and to make more money, but then having to spend the money that you've just made on takeaways or medicines or whatever to compensate for the lack that you created by trying to get ahead. So this is just talking about finding, looking at that balance. Is it actually balancing, or are you actually creating more poverty in your striving to decrease the poverty? Okay. And this is also, this doesn't have to be financial. It can also be your attitude towards. So you might have enough money to pay your bills, or enough material stuff, or enough career, but maybe your attitude is that you don't have enough, or you worry that you're going to lose it, or you worry that it will be taken away from you. So all of those kinds of things are what comes up with the Five of Pentacles. So it's a little bit of an unbalanced energy here, but I have no doubt that it can you can find balance again. All right. Also the pentacles, there's that star shape that's there, which there's so many different opinions of what that is, everything from the S word to the everything else word, but actually each of those points are represent an element. So you've got your earth and air and wind and water and fire, and your wind is your spirit. So we've got all of these elements that are making the whole. So it's all of the different aspects of your life, or of yourself, or of your attitude, that is coming together to create either this positive energy, or, if you choose to look at it that way, a negative one. All right. So they're just, again, telling me to bring to your attention the fact that sometimes we project into a situation rather than actually seeing it for what it is. Okay, so I'm going to definitely say to you that your material balance can happen when you get control over your emotions, or if you change your attitude towards finding a solution, or acknowledging what is already there. Okay, so sometimes our stubbornness or our refusal to look at things differently is actually the problem. So that gives us Wednesday. So good luck with Wednesday. Oh, there's also something that comes up for Wednesday, and that is financial gifts. So but be careful, more around the words of be careful of squandering gifts. Okay, so be careful of maybe not valuing the help or the support or the financial gain or the gifts that you've being offered. Okay, so I do feel this is also speaking to me very much about like freeing yourself from debt and making things better, but it's no good if you just take that and you squander it on something else. So that's Wednesday for you. And then we have Thursday, the High Priestess. This card gets me giggling a little bit, because when I look at her, she always looks like she's just flung the door open and she's like, hello, I'm here. Honey, I'm home. I don't know what I'm doing here, but nevertheless, here I am. So that's the high priestess energy for Thursday that comes in. And I do think that gives us the indicator of going, well, okay, so why are you here? Uh, what do you want? Do you need to take a moment and think about where you are and what it is that you want? Because it's no good just going, hello, I'm here, and not knowing why you're here or what you want to do when you're here or what it is that you're expecting when you're here. So yeah, there's definitely that you maybe need to just keep in mind for Thursday, and I would say every Thursday after that and every other day in between. So it might be a good time for you to actually sit quietly and contemplate, you know, arriving in your life or arriving at your work or arriving in your home or arriving in your relationships. What is it that you're actually expecting from it? And I do feel that if you can just take some time to sit quietly and contemplate your way forward, contemplate your reason why, then some secrets are going to be revealed in those quiet moments. And when I say secrets, it's those buried treasures. It's that stuff that we sort of when somebody else says it, we go, oh, I know that's what I was thinking, but why didn't I just, implement it? Or why didn't I think of that myself? Or I did think about it, and then I discarded it. So whatever those revelations are, I really do feel that it's going to help you to balance your material stuff, and to be able to give you better control over your emotions. Okay, so give you better control over your emotions and your material stuff. Okay, so definitely this is about you do have the support, you do have the inclination, you do have the growth, you do have the answers, you do have the illumination, you do have the everything that you possibly need. All you got to do is be able to be in the position to be able to recognize it. All right. So I'm just getting drawn to those little leaves behind her back there, and that's just saying me, first of all, you've made your way, you fought your way to the front. You have been through a little bit of a rough time over the last while, and these little flowers that are behind her as well, and that also just indicates to me that it hasn't all been bad. There's been some good stuff, and this is really about flinging that door open of your life and just going, I'm here and this is what I've come to do. She's also, I've just noticed, she's wearing a crown with those three I don't know what spikes I don't know what they're called, but that might be three elements of your life. It could be family relationships, money and career, and maybe spiritual or self-development, emotional stuff. So it could be three aspects of your life that you maybe need to think about, or that you've maybe been obsessing over without actually getting any proper solutions. So have a look to see where you can with that crescent moon above her head, just says, there's a story to say when the moon's holding in like that, it's holding everything in, and then when it tips over, it tips all the goodness out. If you are somebody that fishes, you will know that that's a sort of an old fisherman's tale to say when the crescent moon puts its, the ends of it is facing upwards, it's holding the fish in, and when as soon as it, faces downward, it lets all the fish out. And in this, I'd say to you, so are you holding your thoughts? Are you holding your expectations in, or are you now ready to tip them out? tip them out all over you and all over your life so that you can enjoy it. What do your fish look like? What do your expectations look like? What do your life goals look like? What do your short-term goals look like? What do your reasons why look like? So we all have to do stuff during our days, and it makes it a lot easier when we know why it is that we're doing it. And to get paid is one of the reasons, always, obviously, when it comes to our work and all that. But there are always other ways and other reasons. So it might be because you find it fulfilling, or you're helping others, or that this is the as your first card was indicating, the end of this chapter that you just need to get through in order to get on to the next lot. So yes, that is very much coming through for the High Priestess as well. So let's have a look to see what Friday has in store for us. This is quite an intense week, it seems. I'm having a giggle. I do admit, as soon as I pulled this card out and put it down, I went, oh, thank goodness. After the trying week, it's like, oh, good news, financial improvements. You told us about overcoming obstacles and not overthinking, and making sure our debts are balanced and our reasons why. Now you're saying, but don't worry, because it's all working out just the same as you showed us that sun on Monday's card. So yeah, we've got our sun, guys. Things are definitely working out a little bit better. So this is very much about taking your control, using your energy, and using it wisely, using it in the direction that you want it to go. There's new beginnings here. There's definitely blessings with those little flowers. So yes, this is about being ready to deal with whatever situations you find yourself in. Okay, so this is very much about the ability, or the not just the determination to succeed that we find in the High Priestess, but almost the going, okay, I acknowledge I've got everything that I need in order to succeed, and then making the decision to implement that which you've decided with your High Priestess. Okay, so yeah, Friday looks like it's a good energy in terms of making decisions and implementing strategies and creating formulas that can then be built upon. So it's also a good day for you to sort of get strategic with your solutions, that kind of thing. So this is very much, I want to say, like, there's another saying that comes to mind. It's like a bird in hand is better than 10 in the tree. Okay, so this is very much about being mindful about what you've got, and making plans on what you do have, rather than making plans on what might be or could come, or that you're expecting to come. So in other words, this card is just and the energy that's coming through here is saying, make plans with what you do have in front of you, not what you are expecting to have in front of you but don't yet. Okay, so plan for the one bird that you do have in your hand, rather than the 10 birds that haven't arrived yet. Okay, so that is Friday. It looks very much like a full, I want to say, like a full circle day. All right, so it feels like there is this feeling of going, okay, cool, I'm feeling a little bit stronger emotionally, I'm feeling a little bit stronger materially. It's not perfect, but at least I've got a plan now. And things are starting to look a little bit more positive, even if it's just only in your head. Okay, so let's have a look at what the weekend, the 19th, Saturday the 19th and Sunday the 20th of November has in store for us. Gosh, okay, and then we had the weekend. 3 words: truth, life, and transformation. So I think that this story seems to have been building up through the rest of the week. No wonder this King of Swords looked a little bit on the glum side, having to make some unexpected decisions or unpleasant decisions or whatever the case is throughout the week. But this really does look to me like it's a matter of making choices. Okay. So just to repeat, I'm sure everybody that does tarot repeats this. Lovers don't necessarily mean actual relationship, and death doesn't. Usually, I've actually only ever come across it once where it actually meant somebody's physical death. All right. So we're not talking about actual, well, maybe for some of you, we're talking about the ending of a relationship or a transformation of a relationship or moving things forward a little bit in a relationship from where it has been. Okay. But I do feel that the energy of the weekend, in a very general way, really does talk about more about the choices of releasing old habits and recognizing almost the choices that we have in terms of, do we choose temptation and sort of short-term enjoyment, or do we choose the divinity or the duty, which would then give us long-term gain? So, is it the short-term gratification, or are we going to do the long-term, what we know is good for us, right? So, and I think they mentioned that about compensating earlier about the spending on something that's going to make you enjoy things on the short term, rather than actually doing what you need to know or what you need to do in order for you to gain in the long term. So these cards really tell me about bringing your attention to the difference between needs and wants. And sometimes maybe what you need to do is to leave behind old habits and choose new ways of actually being in order to get what it is that you actually want. This also tells me very much about clear endings of something maybe that's been dragging on for too long. But this also tells me that there is hope after the decision to change. So see what is maybe past its best before date that needs some releasing, and maybe implement some change on that. So after this week, I'm not surprised that these two actually came out, because it fits in very much with the story. Also, just a little something. The Lovers card also indicates a Gemini or Geminis, or the month of June, and your Death card is also the card of Scorpio, okay, which we're currently in Scorpio season. So it could be that for some of you it might be a new relationship, or the terminating of an old relationship, or the moving from one phase to a different phase within the relationship during the phase of Scorpio, or during the next couple of weeks possibly, which would then be the transformation from one phase to another phase. Okay. I'm just saying, just don't get the little snakes just telling me it's about being flexible, about being focused on what the end goal. But yeah, that is that little bit of being truthful to yourself about what do you choose? What do you actually want? What's your end goal? Yeah. All right. Don't just do it for the sake of doing it. Do it for a reason. But as this card indicates to us, better things are coming. I mean, there you got you've got the almost sun behind there. You've got the sun there. You've got the sun in all of your cards. So I do feel that this is just a time of making the changes that you deem are necessary. Things are going to reveal themselves. That's definitely going to be better. It's definitely not a negative weekend forecast. That this is very much just about a working and action orientated, bringing things to their natural culmination so that you can enjoy something better. Okay, so, and I'm also seeing the fire on the head, which is just telling me about the, maybe some of you are going to enjoy a nice braai, and at your braai, you're going to suddenly have this idea of going, oh gosh, why didn't I think of that, before now? So maybe some good ideas that come out when you are around some fire, whether that's candles or braai fires or just a log wood fire at home somewhere. But anyway, so that's that, guys. And I mean, fire also transforms. It also changes, which is exactly what that card tells us, card 13. So, yes, good. I hope that helps, guys. And thank you very much for joining us. All the very best for this coming week. It's going to be tough, but you are much tougher. You certainly do have whatever it takes for you to get through this week. And yes, just be in the driver's seat and steer your week where it is that you're wanting to go. Okay. Take care. Stay blessed. See you next time. Bye for now.